Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rob coming back with Not a Laughing Matter. Tonight, I don't have Pat with me, but I've got a special guest, Jacob Malazzi. I'm going to let Jacob introduce himself, and then we're just going to have a little back and forth dialect about the current game of baseball.
Hi, I'm Jacob Malazi. I am I don't know how to word this, redshirt COVID senior, I guess is the best way to describe it, at a Mid-America Christian University in Oklahoma City. I'm a right-handed relief pitcher, and it's pretty much all I've got about me.
Okay. All right. So you had to go through the whole COVID situation. What was that? Was that COVID? Was that your freshman year, your true freshman year? Was that what was that for you?
So that was my senior year of high school, was 2020. I graduated high school 2020, but I went to NSC Tonkawa, Northern Oklahoma College Tonkawa, for junior college, and got there in the fall of 20, and it was still masks everywhere. We did like separate online classes. Like one day you were in person, one day you weren't. Practices were set up like you had your group at the time, and then like you couldn't intermingle with other groups. It was a weird welcome to college baseball.
Right. Yeah, obviously everything was weird about that, but I couldn't like. So your practice times were you just in your like? I mean, obviously as a pitcher, you probably in your relievers group anyway, with starters or with starters and all that.
Well, actually, I signed as a catcher. I signed as a catcher. Was a catcher the entire fall. I think I went 1 for 43 in the entire fall. So I wasn't going to play, and had to learn how to pitch, or I wasn't going to play baseball anymore. So yeah,
Okay.
defensively I was all right, but offensively it could not hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I never had to experience that. I think I faced 90, 91 a couple times when I played in high school, but that was about it. I couldn't imagine 95 these days as compared to 20 some odd years ago, with the different drive line and all these different things and all the spin rates and all the different stuff that has come out that has made pitchers even better.
Yeah, it's interesting being a pitcher in this day and age. I always say I'm playing the best time of baseball because I mean even at my small school we have a TrackMan, and we'll throw bullpens and get just the immediate data of what it did, how it looked compared to other pitches. Like the big one for me, it's instead of spin rate, I'm working on my tilt on my pitches. It's on a clock. So since I'm a low arm slot pitcher, I want my slider to have a 9 o'clock spin tilt. So it's spinning at this rate, and my fastball is going to be 3 o'clock spinning at the other rate. So they're going two separate directions.
So it's all about the whip of your hand, basically, or what is?
Yeah, basically, what angle my hand comes across.
Okay. And see, that was never something that we gripped it, we ripped it, and it rolled off the fingers, and that's what we threw. And I mean, you had your breakers, you had your sliders, but it wasn't nearly as developed as your sliders, curveball, sweepers, slurves, all the different nicknames that they have, and for for the same pitch shapes in a sense. But what so you being low slot, is your slider your kind of your go-to?
Yeah, it depends on the day. So I'm currently working on two sliders, which is it's kind of been a hit or miss kind of thing all winter fall of just if it's gonna go. Tyler Rogers with
Is that?
Tyler Rogers with the UFO like rising slider.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to throw that. It's either it works or it just does nothing. It's just a fastball at like 70 miles an hour.
It's just a big beach ball.
Yeah, it's either going to go 500 feet or it's going to be good. We haven't found that one out yet. But yeah, I'd say my slider. Depends on the day, I guess. 'Cause my changeup's also pretty good. I usually have two pitches on, which is kind of useful for someone who tops out at 80, 81 on his best days.
And you don't have to have a full arsenal like your Greg Maddux or Yu Darvish or anything coming out of the bullpen either.
No, I'm only throwing for max 2 innings, and that's like a weird day. It's if everyone else is hurt and a bomb went off. near the field and the other pitchers got injured. And then I'm throwing 2 innings. Usually I'm finishing an inning and maybe going back out there.
So I've watched some OU baseball since I've been here, in person on TV and stuff. With the new rules changes that they have in the major leagues, with your 3 batter minimums, if you start an inning, you get to finish, or whatever that situation is. What is it like for you guys?
So we don't have that rule, I don't think, or if you finish the inning, you can get pulled.
Right.
But if you don't, I think you do have to face 3 batters minimum pulled.
Okay.
So we haven't had an issue with that come up, so it's kind of patting the back to myself.
I mean, yeah, that's it's hard to it's hard to feel like you need to be taken out in the middle of an inning.
Yeah, when you're already coming in the middle of the inning. It happened to me once last year, and I was like, oh man, I did not do my job.
So you said you've only been pitching for about 3 to 4 years now. What was it? I mean, obviously not hitting well. It had to be pitching. How hard was that transition to go from catcher to pitcher? Because you see somebody like Kenley Jansen, who came up as a catcher and now he's, I don't know, top 5, 6 closer of all time. What's that like, transitioning like that?
I think it honestly was a big help for me, like going from catching to pitching, because I was calling games. I kind of did all the pitch breaks and like what I wanted to have. Like if I could make my ideal pitcher as a catcher, I kind of turned that into myself in a way of like, okay, I know it's really effective. I've called games since I was like 13, so
right.
Kind of figured it out myself. So I felt like the transition was a lot smoother than it could have been if I was like an outfielder having to change everything up.
Yeah. And it's weird, I guess, that you're a low slot pitcher, because most catchers are right behind the ear on the release to second and all that.
I tried one bullpen overhand, and I was throwing maybe 83, 84. And I was like, well, this isn't going to play either. So
might as well get funky with it.
Just mid bullpen, I just started dropping lower and lower. And I was like, well, I could throw a strike from this height, but I can't from this height. So I think I'm just going to find this height right here and learn how to throw it.
So you're not full submarine, but you're down pretty good.
Yeah, I think my release height last time I checked was 2 feet and 10 inches was the last time I was on data. So it's pretty low. I guess I'm more sub than submarine because I have the upper rotation tilt.
Okay. 1 second. So what are your plans for baseball for life, with this coming up season being your last, I'm assuming, unless you get some kind of weird eligibility again?
Yeah, so it will be my last year. I don't know if there's going to be any rule bending or any like look, we found a year. So I think this is it for me. Don't think I'm going to go get drafted. I worked out a Driveline over one winter, and the amount of people who throw 95 today is it's amazing. I was there and I saw Riley O'Brien, who's just like a middle reliever for the Cardinals, I believe. I think he's still with them. And he threw the easiest 99 I've ever seen. And it was like he was just walking and throwing. It was 99 on the dot. And I was like, oh, yeah,
so that's what this is like.
Yeah, it's like I should think of a career. So I think I'm just going to enjoy this year. Hopefully we have another successful season. We won our conference last year. We came in as the 1 seed to our regional, and then we kind of hit a skid and we got knocked out in the semifinals. So hopefully we can go further than that. Then after baseball, I believe right now I'm looking at a fire school and becoming a firefighter.
That's pretty cool. That's something that takes a lot of work and a lot of passion to do, is to have that, to be able to risk your life for other people's safety. It's a selfless job. So it's not one that I've ever dreamed of doing. So more power to you for that.
It's something I've been thinking of for a while. And then the idea of having a team at work and being a physical activity. I don't know how well I'd be in an office setting. I have ADD out the wazoo, and I'm used to being in a bullpen for
Stirred around
bullpen,
the whole
yeah,
3 hours.
yeah, most bullpen conversations probably wouldn't fly in a office conversation. So I have to.
I can see that. I can see that. So, all right. So you said y'all had a good season last year. So break down last season for us then, as far as y'all's team overall.
We went 41-13.
Okay.
I think we only lost 4 games in conference, with our conference being probably the second or third best in NAIA. Got teams
Okay.
like Oklahoma City, USAO, Tex West is usually amazing, and then it was us. And we were projected to be 4th, and we ended up winning the regular season. We won the tournament. We opened up our year going to LSU Shreveport, who were number 4 in the country, and we run rolled them in the first game, and then lost 5-4 in the second game. So started off really hot, and then I don't think we ever really had a skid of losing all year. We didn't lose a conference series. Our bullpen was, our entire pitching staff, we led the country in WHIP, walks per 9. I think we were 4th in ERA. We were top 10 in all pitching categories, and then hitting categories, we were also just one of the top. We were top 15 in almost every category in hitting.
That's any 40-win season in college baseball is a really good season. That's not something that a lot of teams can get to.
Yeah, we finished the year ranked 11th, and we started the year unranked.
Okay.
So
What is the goal? Obviously, at 40 plus wins last year, number 1 seed, winning the conference. What is the ultimate goal for this season coming up? Because I know y'all have had fall ball and different things, or I'm assuming y'all have had fall ball and different things like that.
yeah, we finished our fall 2 weeks ago. Goal for the year is probably go to the World Series. Actually, honestly, a way we aren't shooting for that. I've kind of checked everything off besides go to the World Series and try winning the whole thing.
Yeah, that's yeah. You're right. It's really not much else to go from semifinals or super regionals or whatever, however you want to break it down. There's only one other step you have after that, is to go to the World Series.
We had a golden ticket last year, and there's a team, they're called Milligan. They're out of Tennessee. They were one of the last teams to get in. They were in our bracket. They beat us twice. So that team is our kryptonite. So I wouldn't mind playing them again.
That's East Memphis.
I believe so.
I lived in that area for a little while, and the name is familiar, but that's
yeah.
So give me a rundown on some of your teammates. What you have all these guys that are top 10, top 15 in statistical categories. What is something, or who is somebody that stood out for you as a teammate?
I don't know if I could pick one. Last year we were super senior heavy, especially as a pitching staff. So this year we have an entirely new starting rotation. And most of the bullpen, like pitchers, were really senior heavy last year. So the group of guys from that last year. So like you had Zane Robo, who had like a sub-3 ERA all year, first team all conference, first team NCCAA. He was just an absolute dog. There's no way to put it. And then we found out probably 2 months later, he pitched the entire year on 25% of a meniscus.
So that's fun.
Yeah, threw on one knee for the entire year. We had a kid named Isaac Baez he had a solid year. He went on to play with the New York Boulders in the Frontier League. And then Kelton Lachelle was just a solid bullpen piece we had. Cam Brown was our closer. He was a starter for 3 years, then became a closer this past year, and he was lights out. He's going to be a doctor. Hitting wise, you had DeAndre Gaines, who set the single season record for runs with 86.
Okay.
Noel McGarry Doyle, who was the one who was usually driving in DeAndre. Carlos Medina won a Gold Glove at shortstop, and then Zach Stark, our catcher, he won a Gold Glove as well as winning second team all conference.
So a lot of the hitters are going to be back this year, or
yeah, most of our hitters, except for our third baseman, he transferred to LSUS. First baseman went to transfer to Central Methodist, and I feel like I'm missing an outfielder. No, that's right. Yeah, we only lost those two.
Okay. So a lot of the new pitchers, are they transfers? Are they freshmen or?
A lot of junior college transfers or different school transfers. Ooh, let's see. You got Brock Cordes. We call him Soup because he sounds like broccoli and cheddar. He's pretty good. He gets up to 92, I believe.
Okay.
We got some kids from Western Oklahoma State. One is Yona Ventura's cousin.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, he's disgusting. He's a lefty with a just disgusting changeup, and he's like this tall, throws low to mid nines. Other transfer pitchers we had.
Low to mid nines on the left side for a small guys.
Yeah, he's like the real deal when he's on. I'm trying to think of other new pitchers. Oh, I'm trying to blank. Oh, we got Andrew Long. He's from there's a powerhouse school in NAIA called Southeastern.
Okay.
They're out of Florida. They've lost probably 12 games in the past 5 years. They've only won one World Series though, so most of their losses come in the World Series. Their head coach left, so a lot of the guys ended up leaving. So we got 2 guys from their school, and Andrew's a solid pitcher. We don't know if he's going to be in the bullpen or if he's going to be part of a rotation, but solid 3/4 arm slot guy.
That should be having guys like that come in with, I guess, that background at pedigree. Up a lot.
Yeah, he's a big help.
I guess
he's been there, so he wants to go back there.
Yeah,
and he wants to push everyone to experience what he's experienced. He's told us that probably 50 times. He's like, "No, I want y'all to experience Lewiston. It's a different experience."
So where's the NAIA College World Series at?
It is in Lewiston, Idaho.
Idaho, and I guess that's not too bad to be playing baseball in May and June.
No, it's probably a little cold. I was somewhat near there this summer, and it was chilly, but it wasn't too bad. And it's right on the Oregon border, so it'd be really pretty mountain area.
So you said you were up there this summer. What were you doing up that way?
I was playing for the Minot Hot Tots in Minot, North Dakota at the Northwoods League.
Okay, so is it like independent ball or is it like a like wood bat league or whatever?
Yeah, it's a wood bat league. It is a college summer league, so all of everyone competing in it is from their colleges. They usually get sent out there by them. You play. It's a grind. You play 70 games in 75 days. It tries to acclimate you to what a minor league schedule is like, taking a bus every day, or maybe you have like a 7-day homestand, and then you go on the road for 3 days. We got up to playing, I think we played 38 days in a row.
That's a whole different ball game than playing a midweek game and then a weekend set, and that's about it. And
yeah, it really makes you decide if you love it or not. It was fun. It was a cool experience to. You never go to fun towns either. You're always in there was one called Wilmer, Minnesota, where the Stingers played at, and there's a gas station, hotels, a couple of restaurants, and the baseball field.
And you don't have. It's not like you're going up there making $600 million like Juan Soto is. You're going up there with peanuts and per diem and stipends, and that's about it.
You go for free. You play for you don't get paid.
No stipends, no anything.
They feed you and they give you a place to live. My host family was really cool. They were on the Air Force Base out in Minot.
Okay.
I got to live on an Air Force Base the entire summer.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
get to see a lot of different things.
Yeah, it was interesting. There was a drill one day with the sirens going off, and I wasn't on the emails because I'm not a full resident there. Drill going on, so I heard the sirens going off at 7 a.m. I started freaking. I was like, "Oh no, this is it. This is how I die."
Well, you didn't know Oklahoma tornadoes went all the way up to North Dakota with you.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, is this a tornado warning?" No, it was just on the Air Force Base because we had a team group. Just like, "Y'all hear these sirens too?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, I am."
So you were the only one living at the base with your host family?
For the first part of the summer, yeah, but then eventually more people showed up, and I had a roommate for a little bit. He's at Grambling State.
Okay.
There's two other kids. One's at UC Santa Barbara now, and the other one's at UC San Diego or University of San Diego, one of the two.
Okay. The Toros, that's San Diego, isn't it, I think. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Like, so how do you get into, I mean, obviously you said your team sends you up there. How is that process of you saying, "Hey, coach, I want to go play up north this summer," or is it, "Hey, do you want to go play up north this summer?"
So I had a connection. My pitching coach from the summer before, when I was out in Gary, Nebraska, playing for the Western Nebraska Pioneers, he got the job as a pitching coach, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to come play out here this summer?" And I had to get approval from my coach, and like, "Is this okay?" And they were all for it. They want me to throw almost every day, so they're like, "This is the perfect scenario for you."
Yeah, and obviously it doesn't mess with your eligibility or anything like that.
No.
You're not making money outside of NIL stuff.
No, there's no NIL unless you had it before. Like, it's part of our contract is like you couldn't use the team branding or image, name, image, likeness. Like, you couldn't use theirs for your own personal gain. So like if you had a deal, you had to like do it separately, not influenced through the team.
Okay. What has so the NIL's been around what 2 full years now? So what was it like when you first started without the NIL as compared to what it is now, as big as it is?
I've never really gotten into NIL. I didn't really see a need for it. I'm not really a sought after entertainment guy. No one really wants to pay the middle reliever the big dollars, so I was like, I'm just not even going to worry about it. So it hasn't affected me much, but there have been scams through my teammates. I've had a couple of teammates get scammed, and I've had a couple of teammates get some pretty cool stuff. They've got free protein. No one's ever really gone for like free cars or anything like that. Just like protein companies send them stuff, supplement companies. One of my teammates is sponsored with Jawbats, which is a really good wood bat company. So they usually just work on getting like products over cash, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, and college baseball has always been a little weird, at least when I was growing up, where you didn't have a lot of full scholarship guys. It was a lot of partial scholarships because the money just wasn't allocated for that. And I would imagine NIL is probably close to the same, like, breakdown, maybe.
Probably. I'm sure at the big colleges like your Tennessees or your LSUs, there's more people not paying for college due to NIL than the standard 11.7 of Division I NCAA. So I'm sure it's helped out at that level tremendously with booster funds and all that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and you see guys, the Tennessee was it Drew Gilbert a couple years ago, where he's just hitting monster home run after monster home run, and I'm sure those guys are getting their fair share. Jack Caglione last year, I'm sure he got paid way before he actually got drafted.
Yeah.
So, so outside of baseball, what is something that you like to do? What's your major? What's your obviously you're going to want to be a fireman, but what's your classes look like?
So I'm in communications and media productions. So I work on our school podcasts. I'm in a class right now studying the media or the history of television and media, and I'm having to write a pitch for a show that I have to create and like pitch it to my class. A lot of digital media stuff, so a lot of blogging, sports editing, and writing. I do run the social medias for Mackey Baseball, so I do all of our graphic designs and run our social accounts. So I work very digitally now compared. My original major was agricultural business.
That's a big change.
Yeah, so going from working with farm animals to working on computers all day was a bit of a steep incline to learn, but picked it up really well.
So, y'all season starts about the same time around Valentine's Day, give or take?
No, we start January second to last weekend of January. We open up with Louisiana Christian
That's early.
We start early, and then our conference finishes up. Conference tournament finishes up May 6th, and then you have like a 7 to 8 day break for selection show. All the other conferences are finishing up. Then you go from there to you find out where you're going for regional. You go to your regional, you win that. You have like a week break, and then you fly out for the World Series, and you get done end of May.
It's Memorial Day-ish. So
yeah,
it's really not a bad schedule. I know me growing up playing, those first couple weeks of playing in February was always miserably cold, which for you is an advantage when you can run a two-seamer in on somebody's hands or slider on somebody's knuckles or whatever.
Yeah.
What's it like pitching in that cold weather though?
I'm weird. I don't wear sleeves. I hate the way any texture feels in my arm.
Okay.
So I usually just try to stay as warm as possible. And I'd say pitching in the cold, I don't know, it doesn't really affect me much, I feel like, because I will say we start the season south. We always go to Louisiana. We go to Texas. We did go to Kansas this year in February. That was cold. That was a cold day. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just try not to complain about being cold, and just if I don't say it out loud, then it can't be true. So don't let myself become cold. I'll start running around in the bullpen. I guess I stretch longer.
Yeah, get a little tighter, a little quicker, maybe.
Yeah, I'll stretch longer, and I try not to throw as little as possible when I'm warming up to go into a game because I don't want to waste bullets. I'm weird. I just throw like maybe 8 pitches and warming up to go in a game. Just make sure everything's looking right. I was like, okay, I can't waste anything else. I want to throw my good ones right now.
There's no way in the world. When I pitched, I was that guy that I could warm up for 30 minutes and I still wasn't warm. But after the first inning, I was fine. It was just something about the first inning that I could throw the ball 40 feet. I could throw the ball 20 feet high off the screen. I could throw strikes. I just didn't know until I found it. And it didn't matter how much I warmed up. I was weird like that. But pitchers are already weird anyway. So that's, especially middle relievers, you kind of got to be a little.
I think I'm just programmed into like hearing the walkie-talkie or my coach saying "get hot," and then within 3 batters being like, "Are you ready to go?" I'm like, so
yeah, let's go.
Time to dilly-dally. Like I'm kind of just going at 100 miles an hour once I get going.
Yeah, and it's got to be that way because you never know when the starter's going to get into a jam or you got a good matchup that you got to come in and throw your slider at somebody and strike them out and get out of the inning.
It's pretty just situational when I come in. Usually I come in the worst scenarios possible. We call it, I don't know if I could swear on here, but we call it the "oh shit" guy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel free to say whatever you want to say. I mean, everybody has their little nicknames for scenarios. So, but every bullpen has one. Or 2. Probably one lefty, one righty, depending on who's batting. So.
Yeah, I would say lefties are my biggest kryptonite. They've always hit extremely well off me, and it's like even in our fall World Series. One team had I came in facing all righties, and like that's what we thought was going to happen. And the coach pinch hit all of the lefties off of his bench. And I was like, that's Marty. I can't even be upset at this.
That's why they get paid what they get paid to manage games and coach teams.
It was our strength and conditioning coach who was in charge of it. He's like, he knows that I just struggle with lefties. So he put all of our best left, like one who was hurt. I'm pretty sure I saw him limping like 2 days before, and he came and got an at-bat against me. I was like, okay.
This is bad. Yeah.
I was like, this is a sign I need to work on this winter.
But you know what, though? At least you found out, and you said you're working on new pitches, so you can program those pitches to get the specific lefties out that you do have problems with. So that's a positive to the fall ball and things like that.
Yeah, it's a huge positive. Fall ball always finds out what your cracks are so you can fix them in time for spring.
Right. All right, man. Well, we're at about 30 minutes right now. trying to think of anything else I was going to ask you or want to cover right now, but I think we should link up again in a couple days and talk about some more things. I'll have some more things to ask you. See how things are going.
Sounds good, sir.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
man. Appreciate your time.
Bye.
See you.